We are semi-finals deep here at Operation Cupid, where the quarterfinals, at least our quarterfinal that we got to cover here on stream, going the distance. 3 full maps needed for Anarchy's to get over the line at the very end on that one. We now have a semifinal. snufaffu, who we have not yet seen. The tuition farm is going to be at their best, you would think, when the money's on the line, because this is a place in the finals where the money is going to be available. Big Dog in the other side of that. Both 2-0 on their way here.
Yeah, it's no short chunk of change or anything like that either. I mean, between the 5 of them, if they do end up winning that first place prize, it's going to be just under $300 per player. You know, that might, or at least should definitely cover like travel. You know, they shouldn't be all that far. I only imagine that they're relatively close, unless they just came here to get a little bit of that, extra oomph, which I don't really know if that's necessarily what they're looking for. I think they want that dough. That's name implied, right? So the roster in which they have today, I was kind of hoping would be a little bit more of the core of that MCS team. You know, seeing all those names that were signed up, it was literally 5 of them. I'm still pleasantly surprised to see these players here. I've gotten a little bit of online witnessing of some of what these other individuals can really be capable of. I think in particular Cameron, I've gotten a pretty good affinity for, and I'd like to see them play now in a 5-player setup on LAN. First time for that.
Yeah, I mean, and tack on, you're talking about like pieces of that squad. Ugura, snufaffu himself, obviously, but Bones, who I think both of us actually got to see in a couple of different LAN events over Knoxville. Was he in Knoxville?
I think he played for was it F5 at the time or whatever?
It wasn't F5, but it was that Nate team.
Or they played for a couple of those different orgs.
Yeah, so definitely some very familiar faces, lots of LAN reps as well. I mean,
maybe I did see Cameron with him on LAN. That's the F5 jersey.
It is, yeah. That would make sense.
Yeah,
nonetheless, is Wilson as well on this snufaffu roster. But yeah, this is a team that definitely comes in with the tag favorites on them for sure. Big Dog, on the other hand, I feel like this is a team that I don't want to say was slept on. I think we kind of knew what they could be capable of, but they're the ones of what I think was mini teams in the same category for me that have broken through, that have made their way into this semifinal. But this is most definitely going to be one of the hardest matchups they've had to play.
I mean, Sefa kind of laid it all out when he was interviewing as well, is that they kind of just like to shoot, right? Like they just go into that one and they start to lay, down the law as far as the mechanical abilities are concerned, and whatever happens as far as the call is even, half decent. The default lets them do as they please, and we'll see what maps that may enable them to do, be going for just such plays. As we do take a look at our veto for the series. Let's see what they got. I don't really know what to come to expect from the side of the snufaffu roster, but a little bit more Nuke, a little bit more Mirage, and maybe, just maybe, a little bit of that Anubis.
Yeah, I'm down, always down to see a little bit of Anubis. That is if we get there. I think the key is if, because as much as I think we saw a little bit of what Big Dog, if I'm remembering correctly, have on Nuke. This is also a map that, at least when you're talking about like the previous core, like where snufaffu has had experience before, like that team that you were referring to in MCS, like Nuke, it's not really the full bones of it or anything like that, but
bones
individually, I didn't do that on purpose, but that is pretty good. But individually, I think I expect pretty good things there. Big Dog picking that map out. We're going to get Mirage, though, from the snufaffu tuition farm side of things.
Fixing things up. Fist bumps are out. Should be getting into the game. Looks like we're ready to rip it. Got ourselves these players now in station, in booth, and potentially in time to close on the semifinals, as they're feeling, surely the both of them, pretty hot and ready for this one to rip off the Band-Aid. Both 2-0s in their quarters, so they haven't really met all that great a pushback, and this would, you would think, be a knife round with how 5 players enter one area of the map, only 3 will leave, and Big Dog, that's the offensive being a little bit disrespected and showing that you can't run into our territory and hope to take it every time.
Yeah, I think a clear statement, at least early on that one. That's the other thing that I'm kind of keen to see if snufaffu, because I don't think they've been tested particularly over this event yet. If they come into this with like utter confidence, and that kind of spells a little bit of that, but clearly knocked down immediately.
Bones on the run, seeing what's happening on yard, and if it is to come with some quickness to it. Looks like as it has. It's just taking up new location one after another. It's not really easy as unarmored players to stay alive for all that long once you are seen. Pulling them little by little into the core that is the center of the map. The nuclear core, that is. Looking to create some fission. Not happening. It's Rue with the MAC-10 at such a great distance, but even then, still making an extra couple of dollars. Whilst the rest of these CTs are left wondering as to where they should position, they take a walk in towards Hut. There's still one outside of Squeaky, but that flashbang is not really going to do much of anything except try to pull the player off the ramp. It works. Everything quite literally falling right as it needs to in their lap. A bit of extra dollars from the MAG-7. That should be it.
Yeah, not at that range. Does a chunk of damage, but nothing further than that. It'll be Big Dog on the T side, starting off strong.
Wilson versus Willie. Battle of the Wills.
Willie, we learned yesterday, calling for this Big Dog roster. You know, a pretty loose style, as you were highlighting, that Cepha was explaining.
Kyle also explained it that each of these players kind of just knows what they need to do in their spots for the most part, and you know, if things go wrong, hope to bail out with some good enough kills. Keep it clean around this smoke and make sure that nobody is lingering on the edges of them. They're not. Phones though. So just trying to at least send some shots into their side as they cross down, but as it fades, they're still staring in his way.
Access granted. Big Dog taking full control of the lower bomb site, and with that smoke deployed, Ollie as well. I was going to say this bomb plant going to be easy enough. They actually take their time in getting that thing involved. Finally will be Rue planting it. Maybe a little too much of a fight, actually, for Big Dog. They keep pushing, and Wilson finally punishes. Ogura going to be joining up with him. Wilson on low HP.
Still kind of fighting, not really so much as just trying to scare him. It's a full run, very loud, one at double window. I thought that maybe there was a world Ogura can catch him sleeping at the wheel, but not happening.
Yeah, it looked for a moment like Big Dog had been a little bit overzealous in that moment, a little bit too quick.
They really want to refrag through a smoke.
Yeah. More commitment than necessary, but the amount of advantages that they had already cemented at the beginning of that round, not only the fact that they got the bomb down and good post-plant positioning, gonna bail them out. Snufaffu's tuition farm not yet able to break through on their CT side. This one a half by. A few of the MP9s to play around with now that they've got a stacking cash bonus on these losses.
Wait and wait. Nades come out on the same time and got to ensure that someone's still attentive to the ramp. Dink to Seth, but even still, the kill. What he will walk away with, and they'll also walk away with a little bit more of a power play. If they can just get into the site as a group, they don't need to do any more searching. They don't need to send somebody down lower. And as they sit still, holding as they were, the same success may be found, but Seth has already been lightened on his HP. So Cameron's got room to just pop him, back up, and then ask his teammates to do a little bit more acting for him. Not working, though.
Yeah, I mean, his teammates, they do their best, in fairness, but won't be good enough. Cronoli takes them both, and Cameron isolated, cordoned off. I don't know what my expectations necessarily were for the start of Nuke or anything, but I mean, I think Big Dog making a pretty clear statement about their intentions on this thing.
Trying to make the favorites look a fool. And frankly, snufaffu team at this moment looking just a little bit exposed, looking like they've been hit with a lightning strike. They need to wake up from the jolt, though. Yet to. And recognizing now that they're going to have the wealth shared amongst all. See what Big Dog try. I mean, they've been solid enough about utilizing the same strategies, or at the very least the same methodology as Anarchy's team had in taking things a little bit slower, you know, really picking apart the positions before going for straight up heads on aim duels. Shadow was seen from Cameron though, but Bones will shut him out before even that, but shown actually from the player still above him.
Gotta still be careful. Oh well. Hey. I mean, careful enough.
See you, Wilson.
Yeah, Willie takes him down. Talking about the Battle of the Wills, well, how that didn't quite go.
Straight up willpower.
In favor, yeah. Ooh. But snufaffu, this is so quick. They didn't even get a chance to put the bomb down. Still rotating back in. Granoli. They need a 1v3, and I mean, they just give him no time to do anything.
Get peeking. Look at how straight snufaffu sits. Got such posture.
I was gonna say, you know,
but it's like almost like he's outwardly pressing his chest. He's trying to puff up his pecs. He's trying to look big.
Isn't that? I mean, not specifically that, but isn't that kind of how you're supposed to sit? Isn't that what good posture is?
Yes. Straight. Yeah.
like shoulders out. I guess.
Freak is the way it plays. I think Cooper does too.
That guy's bald. What would he know?
What would he know?
Yeah, come on. Can't.
He probably knows some things.
All right.
I don't think being bald just disqualifies you from knowing anything.
You said it, not me.
Actually, you did.
I love gaslighting. Fortunately, got a little tech hiccup here. It looks like Big Dog.
Ah, that's why they lost the round.
Getting the PCs worked on.
Wet Willie has been disconnected, so we're just going to be fixing that up, making sure that he is ready to get this one moving soon enough.
Yes, indeed. A Big Dog that, to be honest with you, I think surprising just in the manner of which we've seen them, you know, dominate this first couple of rounds, but overall not had to do too much from the T side perspective. I think they get themselves in a good position from that pistol, and they've just taken advantage of that thus far. The fact that first gun round for the CT side looked good, by no means is the start of this game, I think, indicative of where it necessarily is going.
There were some quick hyper aggressions on trying to refight sooner rather than later, than, you know, letting them get into the site. As soon as the Opera gets to pick in heaven, he just jumps right out and they regroup and just swing in through mini. It's like no time was really taken from them in making that decision and being able to get right on their opponent before they had gotten maybe a little bit further into a site, maybe the bomb into it, maybe even an opening pick on an extremity. And I think that's really what you kind of need to do in instances where you're, for the majority of that game, up until that point, being hit with what this teaser going to start to believe might be like, we're just better aimers than you. I think that they pretty quickly prove that that is not going to be something that lasts all that long.
I was taking a peek here at how many games on nukes snufaffu played in the group stage. That is them over in Group A. It was just the one, if I'm not mistaken. No, they did not play a nuke. It was just Mirage and Anubis.
No nuke.
Yeah, 2 Mirages and an Anubis.
What about playoffs?
No nuke.
No nuke.
What about playoffs? Hold on. It's in a different location. I'll see if I can find it.
Well, I mean, we can take ourselves a little bit of a hiatus, perhaps, as we await them to have this technical issue. So
I found it.
Then we can run it back if you'd like.
Yeah, we can do that. Anubis would have been the decider. Mirage does 2 the start of that one. 2-0 against the Atlantean Knights.
All right.
Was the outcome there? Yeah, I think that's probably a good thing to go towards as we wait for Wet Willie's issues to be resolved. We're going to send this one off to a quick hiatus. Be right back.
Here we are once more. Not that long. A wait. Just getting Wet Willie ready and raring to hit onto the op. Now his rifle was looking pretty solid. Didn't look like it was having that much an issue. However, the op of Wet Willie will not be what we hear ring out first. It will be Bones. And on the shot, it does pierce through Cannoli, who was frankly a monster the last time that we saw him on Nuke. But this time, cut out in round number 6 at the start of it.
I mean, pretty monstrous to be fair at the very start of this map, actually. Current stat line 8-3, but like you said, gone, done, and snufaffu not stopping there. He'll be tacking on yet another early advantage, and more where that came from. Big Dog, the rest of their individuals down on B. That's where Bones is sitting and waiting. There is a couple of CTs actually pushing, following them, but surely not going to get there in time. Bones is currently on an island. Pretty decent spot. Just got to worry about the fact that there's still one man there. Great shot from Sefa, and I said that it wouldn't be in time. Big Dog wastes enough of it that Gura will get into that flank. snufaffu from over on ramp is good for both. And a 3-piece from him. snufaffu's tuition farm was the opening 4, but they are right back in business, and they've finally cut down Big Dog's economy too.
Time for it. They can get about getting into this map now. Getting their players a little bit more active. Cameron, one of them, who has been considerably quiet now, getting his first pick in this round as they look to pop onto his position and maybe abuse the fact that he will have been made known as the only known entity, only Agora on the other side. They would have preferred not to have to worry about either, but two very much so attentive to them. And Rue will have an equally, if not 5 times more difficult chance getting into A.
Yeah, just him. Just poor Rue all alone.
Needs to find a teammate by the name of Kanga. And then they create the most destructive Counter-Strike duo known to man. Just based on vibes alone.
The best ever? The best ever to vibe it?
Yes.
I'll be on the search. I'll get there.
Or start an organization and call it Kanga, because then he can be Kangaroo.
That might be even better. I like that. They have like overlooked him a little bit. So there might be a free kill here at least. And actually, there's a bomb plant. Almost a certainty now.
Yeah,
oh, never mind. snufaffu was there already. Didn't catch him, but he did catch the T.
snufaffu on the regular, able to rotate to the ramp as quick as he has been. Just finding some shots on those unattentive to him. It's pretty good. The namesake of the team, you know. That's why he's the one getting the tuition.
Yeah.
He's putting in the numbers, he represents them, you know, it's his brand. I mean,
I want to know if they do win prize money, does he get a larger cut?
all of it?
Well, you know, because it's his namesake, that's why.
All of it.
All of it seems a little bit, a little excessive.
No, he gets all of it.
Okay. Remind me never to play for your team.
Come on, well.
Though he is kind of doing it all himself right now.
If I'm going 10-4 on our LAN matches after we were just down 1-4 on T-side Nuke against T-side Nuke, you better be paying me that tuition money.
Hey, but Bones is still in this. That's multiple times now that he's had an early op frag. This one in yard where snufaffu is still under pressure.
Give him that money.
And he is going to be taking not just the money, but the round in his own favor. Are all tied up on this one. Like we had said, you know, Big Dog with a little bit of a statement start, but by no means we're running away with that thing.
snufaffu ain't even the team's opper right now, man.
But he do be opping.
Let him have it. How did he come up with a name like that?
Big Dog or?
No, snufaffu.
Oh. put some sounds together.
Sneeze.
Once again,
snufaffu.
In the driver's seat, he actually double nade. What in the world? That's 2 caught with a nade. And then he's got riflers for support. snufaffu just cannot do anything wrong whatsoever.
Stop peeking this guy.
They didn't. He got a nade kill. 2 of them.
Well, the first guy ramp peeked him.
Stop going ramp is true.
Yep, he's having a day. He's having a game. I don't know what the stats were for the last match for him in particular, but
I don't either.
This freaking guy, he's giving him a run. The double op setup isn't going to be put down anytime soon. Could come back to haunt them, pardon, if Big Dog do get some meaningful rifle kills as well as some space that they can close distances that get ugly. But I think snufaffu is just going to sit himself here for quite some time. No reason to go any farther ahead.
With his insertion in towards ramp, there's a rotation down B for Agura. Even despite the fact that Big Dog haven't actually gotten across into secret at all. Big Dog just sitting, waiting, watching. That's a big one out of Wet Willie. Elevated onto Silo. First set of smokes going down. Still uncertainty about where Big Dog wants to end this round. The bomb out in yard, not yet crossed the secret. They just sit and wait. And that is paying off dividends.
Yeah, but snufaffu, ever reliable for their one at the very least. Dropping that incendiary, thinking they might try to run him down. That's not happening, not in the slightest. They haven't even gone into inner. They haven't even tried to hit the site. They've stalled for a little while longer, and Wilson, will he get a little bit too curious? You know what that did to the cat? And he will, in fact, just check back and forth intermittently with 20 seconds left. Now he can make a little bit of a move. Now he can catch them off guard, and now he can know that this surely is about to be an A-site split.
Bones gets up heaven. Wilson's still alive.
But defense
is knocked down. Well, I mean, it is, but they've lost everything in the process of getting there. And now snufaffu arriving. Just enough time for Rue to punch in the digits for this 1v3. Wilson, awful close, letting himself be well known. Molly hopeful to separate them, but instead it will just delay. Both going the right direction through single, but Rue now elevated. Will they anticipate this? Should be a free kill, at least one. It's a question of the trade, though they spot him. Rue, a great as he isolates 2 for the 1v3.
Looked like he had kind of tossed it away for a second. Fires 1 bullet at the toe of the first of the not fully entering CTs. They know where he's at. They separate themselves from either side of the silo to improve their chances at him not being able to hit the flick, but it takes too long for the second of the peaks. Adjustment is made. 5 rounds on the T side, and despite how incredible it feels like that snufaffu in particular has looked, not everything has been sunshine and rainbows across this CT half, and that needs to be reminded.
It's a brilliant clutch from Rue. One that gets Big Dog kind of back into this half. It's starting to fall apart. Bit by bit. Double op still. Considering snufaffu had massive amounts of money that they had put away for later. Nice shot out of Bones. Rue got across. I think Rue's just spotted. Seen indeed.
Oh, toyed with.
And Agura with a very nice adjustment.
Just jiggling it out after he spotted the red on the minimap. Trying to really get inside his head as to when he is to peek. Oh, and then he finally hits him with it. Other player here, though, inside of Mini. Not sure if that'll be something they're aware of, but it may not be something that they'll ever need to deal with. Actually, Bones, he's hit the heavens. He's been able to find them in the smoke. Heading down, bomb again, 1v2, no, 1v4. Cannoli, can you double up what Rue had done for you in the last? I highly doubt it. Cameron just needs to not troll, and the 2 ramp players just need to hold their angles enough for either of those prongs to hit their next peak and do exactly that. That's a boxer t-shirt I think Bones is wearing.
Beautifully handled. Hashtag not sponsored, but
I have one in there.
Very cool.
Very comfortable. Zywoo takes historic 30th career MVP. at Cluj-Napoca.
Seal the deal. Spoilers.
30 is a lot.
Just kidding.
30 is a lot.
Yeah, he might be the GOAT.
Yeah. He has 23 at big events, which is 2 more than Simple with his MVPs in general. That's insane.
There you go.
He's the number 2. Good lord.
Could be a tight scoreline. Big Dog gonna have to do it with a little bit lackluster weaponry. 2 MAC-10s in this process, but nonetheless, just gonna go for a little speedier play. Gonna cut them down today. Bones gets back into position. Only Wilson was on the site proper, so he gets snuffing. snufaffu arriving, this time on a rifle.
Yeah.
Nakura, what even happened there? I think he was defending the first guy in mini.
Rue again.
And Rue has to break through. Does so. Plant was out in the open. Bones, just catches vision, and now there's a smoke in his face.
Yeah, Rue has been pretty extraordinary at the ends of this half and the middles of it. Easy walk through the smoke, tap down to size. Map not yet done, but I mean, just damn near about one, it feels. That's their map choice, the side of Big Dog. This is their T-half that they've ended at a scoreline that's really, really hard to deal with. In general, Big Dog can quite literally just sit pretty and be happy with not happy, but be fine, content with losing the pistol round here. Like, that's going to be no sweat off their brow in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, they really transitioned those 4 rounds at the start into something golden. Just be so reliant on having a good start when you're on the T side of Nuke. The CT, ready for this ramp play. 2 players here. First shot is a miss as Rue activates. Traditions actually as well. 3-man setup.
Crazy.
Big Dog read it perfectly.
They didn't really have utility to go for an A retake if they were to lose it either, so that's a huge gamble from them. All they had was that kit, and the dual Berettas were lobbed over to Cronoli. That's the triangle of doom, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty cooked.
May as well say goodnight now because it's an early morning you got to get up for, and it's, just going to tell you right now, going to be a sore one.
Yeah, they at least put those dualies in play where, maybe if the A-pop comes, though, they can have a chance of, like, a big multi. But yeah, you're talking about taking risks in a pistol round. This is one that has paid off greatly.
He's just really drawing this one out.
I mean, he's just hoping they're going to give him something.
He got the bomb! Yes! He's on the move!
I mean,
Stop him!
Right into Cronoli's dualies. GG, at least in the pistol round of second half. Big Dog gonna be collecting both of those on Nuke. Time to see what snufaffu can do on a bit of a force buy. The fact they got like no kills at all and no bomb plant, they still go for the Foresters.
Well, I think that's kind of the point, is that their next gun round is going to suck.
That's true.
If they save. It's really just going to be like Galils and some utility as opposed to like AKs and some utility. It's just like that one step beneath. And they're already this, far in the trenches after their CT side as well. So it's the same conversation I think we kind of had last map, where the only way that they pull back a nuke like this is if they get AK-47s.
Wild that they had access to the A side. There was only just the top hut player there, able to bounce back and get down onto B. Might be a bomb plant. No, almost certainly not. Would have to shoot his way out of this, and won't be able to.
No sore. No sorry, Bob. See, now their money is in like the territory where they would have been if they had gotten a bomb plant round 1. So now with that additional round that they've taken off, they'll have the op, they'll have full set. And that's the big picture moment now coming, where they will hit 9-6 picks, and their opponents could potentially still be playing with SMGs, and if, you know, enough of these players go down, also potentially will still be in a breaking point period for them. If they get just one or two right atop of Wet Willy, snufaffu nearly cratering to his demise, but instead meeting his fate at the hands of the SMG, who is just absolutely tearing them apart on Yards.
I mean, Wet Willy, definitely the guy you want to have all the money. He's
Money.
He's loving it. 3 more kills for Wet Willy on the SMG. It's up to like 9K, and so will gladly rebuy an op. Tradition's going to keep it in B9, and yeah, it is all the AKs.
No op.
No op, though.
If they hadn't bought a Deagle and like one flash, then might have been a conversation, but Deagle. Gotta have a Deagle.
It's true. Can't go without it.
Can't play around with that one.
Wet Willy, hoping that some of those shots are gonna go deeper. Find a success. Break of the smoke, doesn't get any further vision. Oh, that looked so on target.
Movement and accuracy.
Close but no cigar for Wet Willy.
Now Wilson's got his chances at holding down inner a little bit lightened on, but he knows that it's a 5 versus 4, so there's no reason for him to try and fight forward anymore. He doesn't need to look into one of Squeaky or the hot pushes. And maybe snufaffu might want a little bit more out of this map. I'm just getting a feeling, like a slight,
like a vibe,
like
some such.
Yeah, I think he kind of wants to win.
Oh yeah.
Everybody else is also kind of leveling up a little bit here. I wouldn't call it a DM necessarily, but they're playing with crosshair on pre-aimed angles, hitting with no need for a trade or any sort of a flash into a direction or a molly to burn out. They're just making sure that each of these high contact angles are hit with the amount of attention that they deserve. Sprays are looking quick. Time to kill looks also like it's pretty fast, reliably. And here is a beautiful point for snufaffu and co to really get active.
Round just starts to fall out of their hands, Big Dog, one after another. When Wet Willy goes down, there's reaction after reaction, and it's that round top to bottom played in that manner. As they try and reclaim what was lost, but at each stage, snufaffu winning another fight, another duel. Ready for another gun round, our Big Dog with yet another AWP. Oh, up close. Great pre-fire too, but snufaffu will ensure that he doesn't get away free and clear.
Dude, it is quite literally those two players, it feels like, clashing for who wants it more. And at this point in time, when snufaffu does get the refrag quick enough, it activates Agora. He feels the level that he needs to reach in order to ascend to victory. Longtime teammate. He will make him proud, and Wilson is the higher health of the two. Even with his back turn, reactionary, flips it on a dime. There's the reset, there's the chance at 9-all, and one more gun round after this for snufaffu, and they're going to be in the driver's seat, effectively, for a long enough time where Big Dog are going to be walking on eggshells financially.
I mean, they already are. I mean, that's the reality that they currently live in. Big Dog are broken as said. They've done so much with that 6-round T side. Win the follow-up round, or the follow-up pistol round as well. Take it to its inevitable conclusion. We're now snufaffu finding form once again. Segura and he himself alongside Wilson to put this round basically down in their own right. Sefa, last man standing. And with just a 5-7, dude, they're all just fighting. Oh my gosh. So aggressive. Unyielding. And here's that round you were just talking about. Guns in hand, Big Dog. Can't continue to let this slip.
And listen, I'm going to call it how it is. Wet Willy hasn't had a great game. We've had 2 rounds from Wet Willy, one against an eco round where he got a 4K, I believe it was. Maybe just 3. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, it was 3 and not 4. That's almost half his kills right there. He had another round earlier in the first half where he had gotten a multi-frag. Since then, his impact, honestly very little across the span of what has now been 18 rounds, and I only have 2 that I can talk about from him even really being a factor in. The AWP not being in his hands doesn't exactly grant me a whole lot of a reason to believe, in particular without the AWP either. It means that he will be limited in what he can do. So picking up the pieces has been Rue. I think that he has been nothing if not a godsend to them. The nade goes soaring over topside over to Wilson. And the only way you lose this one now if you are a big dog is just by giving peeks for fun and for free.
Yeah, it was kind of looking like they had started to do that for a second there, but what, Willie going to fall back? Play a little bit more conservative with this, as he should. Okay.
I wouldn't call that conservative,
Yeah,
but I think you were right in where you thought he was going.
I did indeed think he was just going to be in heaven.
Yeah. That's...
Not out on the rail.
And now we're actually beginning to look a lot like trolling. Cameron and Wilson now having isolated 2 of the 4 of them out on an island. They knew that the bomb was in the T side's possession. Going up to the ladder right now would likely be unwise. And now, this is something I like, is that Sefa and Cronoli are willing to play this round no matter where the T's are to go. As long as they're together, there should be no room for them not to hit their one. Off, looking towards the vent, not taking attention away from Cronoli at heaven, and thankfully so, because the next of them was to hit their line. Lock it in, boys.
Yeah, I mean, some big mistakes. And maybe really just on the Wet Willie side, because
Durant player, I mean, just kind of has to look in that direction.
I mean, he just got hard cleared. It was a really nice shot.
Yeah, a little bit.
But nonetheless, all of those things, those worries, they fade away to a victory for Big Dog, which, like, you will. Eventually, I'm sure. Although I'd like to not think about that. Thank you.
I just Thanos snapped my Codecaster into oblivion. He will return sometime next round. Don't worry about it. Wet Willie on that AWP. Caller man. Big man on the block, calling the shots and hopefully shooting them as well. But Cronoli, I mean, yeah, this player at the silo has been another nightmare in some of these matches. That's already 2. And that's pretty much enough. I mean, this round has time left in it, but at this rate, and we're getting a bomb into A isn't an ideal thing to worry on. Bones could just go down through the vent. He could go down into B and probably be more successful in that direction with snufaffu still to help out. They're playing off one another. There's yet to be one discovered, and as soon as it is to fade, he'll pull out a nade, and Cronoli almost killed by it, but the plot armor returns, and Bones, his chances, honestly, slimming, finning, getting into this bomb site with a smoke to cover his tracks. It's going to be a singular nade that could be the difference, and boom. Big Dog win, and I'm bringing back Vincent. I'm going to snap. Ready? I don't know if you'll hear it, but here.
Whoa.
Welcome back.
What in the world? What did you do to me, man?
I needed a break from you.
Huh.
But now I'm glad that you're back.
I don't know how I feel about that.
But I can snap again.
Please, don't do that.
All right.
But I do feel like Big Dog just breaking through in a massive way. That round, for the first time in a minute, feel like they've actually gotten one that not only was repeatable, but also dominant.
How did you know that? You weren't here.
Well, I mean, I couldn't speak. I wasn't dead.
I faded you away. snufaffu's team taking a timeout now to use what they have at their disposal in order to either A, fight for an overtime with a 3-round gap, or B, try to battle back here with the loss bonus only hitting 3 rounds after they are to lose this one hypothetically, and then hope to do the same. Looks like with that, Khalil in hands of Bones, that they're almost on some sort of a middle ground. They're on like a half buy where it'll look all right. It's not going to be the end of the world for them as far as being able to try and cobble something together later on. But Bones realizing that the extra $1,000 or so is probably going to be more worth the while in round number 22. Round number 21, however, a fast-paced play? No, it's a play turn pop. Looking like that A site is their final destination.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it last round, but the change of pace there for snufaffu initially was like something I was kind of down for, but the fact that Big Dog shut it down is partially worrying to me. Sefa getting the reload off before the explosion of T's comes out the single door. Just gonna keep this slow, get down the vent. That's the plan. It's the bomb that got down first. Massive opportunity, more follow. Traditions will deny the planter. They don't respect that he can still be there. Traditions likely going to tag on another one. It will finally be him going down, but Wilson has to collect the bomb and a whole bunch of kills.
Yeah, a whole bunch, a whole handful. A whole team wiped off the board from one guy. It's
Don't get one guide.
not going to happen. We're not getting one guide today.
You and me.
Me
No.
and you.
snufaffu not necessarily out of this thing. Just trying to get a little bit creative last round to get down onto a bomb plant. Don't quite get there, but this gun round is for everything.
Yeah.
Dog setting themselves up with Rue in the back of Garage. He highlighted so many times that he's been critical. He's about to be tested potentially. Yard smokes up.
Cameron gets top side. Peering and clearing. Ears to the wall. He is hearing nothing inside of A. But Willie, having gotten that kill, makes Rue a little bit of an unknown entity. Another snap back from Bones, but maybe too late. Feels like everything has collapsed all around them. The 13th, inevitable, an adjustment from Wet Willie. It has been a quiet time, but very loud as this win is profound. Nuke, that was one of the bigger ones that we thought that was going to be able to be walked over by them, by the Cronoli crew. And I think that by the end of it, that's kind of what happened. Before I throw it over to you to give me your thoughts, I just want to say that this started as the snufaffu show. Then Rue gave us a little bit more of a look in as to what the individuals can offer in counter action. And then atop of that, Cronoli the level up. The CT side switch, we saw the individual member that we had witnessed yesterday brought back to life. And when those two are against snufaffu, it's simply not enough. He even got exceeded in the end by Rue.
Yeah, listen, I think that we saw a quiet version of Rue yesterday in the group stage.
Yeah.
You know, and really because he wasn't like necessary. Wet Willie was having a great game. We talked a lot about Cronoli and how good he was playing. And it did just feel like, you know, Rue was like, okay, you know, now you need me. I'll jump in. I'll be able to step up. Obviously, that clutch is a big turning point, you know, for me. The Rue 1v3, like that one's one where, you know, if that doesn't come through, we're probably not talking about such a dominant side. We're probably looking at, I don't know if it's going to be a win for snufaffu by any means, but I definitely think that, you know, Big Dog probably aren't in the same location, aren't playing nearly to that level. I think it, you know, definitely an emotional turning point at minimum.
Almost goes without saying. Almost, because, you know, when a game like that, as I was kind of alluding to, becomes like where it's like a head-to-head clash where they're butting heads, and then there's kind of like a new contender arising on one team, and no one is really rising to that next right-hand level. It's not going to work. It's just simply not possible for snufaffu to do as much as he did on the CT side, lose on that half effectively, then continue into the next half and anticipate a victory. It's not going to happen there. Maybe we'll see more from him and the crew over on map number 2. We'll be back with Mirage after the break.
One map deep into our semi-finals, snufaffu's Tuition Farm up against Big Dog. And for you, Tony, felt like a little bit of an upset victory on that nuke, at least from the way you were talking about it. Not in that we don't expect Big Dog to be capable, but maybe in the fashion that they did that.
Yeah, I mean, we had an interview with Cefa the other day talking about how they've been going about playing a lot of their matches, how their game style has been, how their calling system has been. It's been a lot looser. It's been a lot puggier. They think that they could have just gone a lot of these games if they hadn't already and shoot and leave it at that. And that's kind of what it felt like that was going on in those matches. But coming into this one, I don't know, it did feel like there was a little bit of outplaying, and I don't necessarily think it's actually due, you know, entirely in part to what they themselves were employing, Dog, but more so what snufaffu's Tuition Farm were failing to do in a couple of instances, I would say. I feel like what they were lacking, what they were missing, and Big Dog were abusing.
Well, I mean, we talked about some like individual big moments, and I think those definitely a part of it. But also, like when we're talking about seeing what snufaffu's CT side was looking like, you know, they allowed Big Dog a lot of opportunity to get back into some rounds as well. And even though they ended up closing that half somewhat reasonably, you know, 6-6, not too shabby after being down 0-4. It wasn't quite where they wanted to be, no doubt. But under Mirage, snufaffu's Tuition Farm electing to pick into this. So with that on the line, or on the table, I should say, we've got this T-side start for snufaffu.
Love a good offense. But the offense has to be good. And right this second, you can see that they're taking their time in step towards their direction. They get traditions now just peering over cat side to see if anything's happening, but they're all over. One, the bottom ends of mid, another yet to be discovered. Sefa pulling his knife out and trying to get quickly in towards his teammates to play for any sort of support. Crenoli doesn't seem to need it. Crenoli is a one-man stand, and it looks like he stood for just long enough to allow Wet Willie his way back on towards a one player left, but the round honestly felt a lot less close than it should have been in the favor of snufaffu. I feel like they should have just outright won.
Yeah, I think they should have. I was like curious to where you were going, but absolutely the case, especially when Traditions is getting caught out there in middle, like not even going to have his gun out. It seemed like that was falling apart for Big Dog until Crenoli activates Wet Willie, coming back through on CT, 2 taps and 2 kills, leading back into this one. Is that 3 pistols, 1 for Big Dog? Who won the second half nuke pistol? I think it was Big Dog.
Don't remember.
I'm going to say tentatively yes.
Don't quite remember, though I would be inclined to believe so, seeing how this game has gone generally. They went out on these SMG fights with the players close up and personal, knowing there was no way to really leave that duel. It was just going to need to be the full committal at that. They get an AK, they get it into the hands of snufaffu, the man of the match in the last for their roster, but not being able to find any more than the one.
Really love that off angle from Willie. Know that they're on a force fight at best and probably not going to have a lot of utility. Great patience, but a phenomenal shot out of Cameron. Damn. More where that came from, or at least it's going to have to be. Oh, or maybe not. Bones, an initial duel on Cat that doesn't look so hot. The AK gets traded. Cameron going down, and he'll follow that up with a victory against Bones. Wet Willie coming to play in this second map.
Wet Willie is drippy. He's getting these frags. With 3 in total yet to fall, where last game, I believe, he ended with 10 kills, overall, which is not, anything to write home about, but right here, having that this soon, this quick, in a round also as important as that to continue their way forth after being a map in advantage. snufaffu and co, they got themselves AKs. They've also, at the very least, though, kept Big Dog a little bit harder pressed to continue on in this half with finances. Op, I don't know how it's alive, but gets a shot off and then dips.
I mean, Willie, the fact that he is able to afford an op is actually miraculous just because he's the one that survived on both the pistol and then the follow-up. I was actually going to highlight, didn't get a chance to. snufaffu's investment last round was weird. They had a hero AK and then there was saving otherwise. Bomb plant and such allow them to get another buy out. In window, excuse me, is Bones. Playing the fade. Connector, so too are the T's, but Sefa snuffs out Bones, and from that, Crenoli caught on the move. snufaffu already with a ton of information and positioning here on A. Rotations are on the way.
Smoke in Wet Willie's face, kinda. It just barely blooms over where he wanted to see from Palace. Need to blow it just a bit. Sefa still in spawn. A flash would be nice, but it's Wet Willie who holds any of them outside of Sefa himself. They're somewhat blinded, not entirely, but the double fight, that'll do them better. Bomb is planted. Will they be able to make their move back over to ramp? Not quite. snufaffu again called upon.
Can he clutch? Can he do it again? He can, but it's Rue, the hero from Nuke, the comeback for Big Dog. Spotted, man seen, hit included.
Go for it.
As Rue just holding, sticking, but snufaffu is too quick, too clean. And with that, snufaffu getting them back in this Mirage.
I'm going to let him have it, but I'm going to put a little bit of a stop on it. I don't care unless they get the team behind him. That needs to be the moment after Cameron with some seriously solid shots across those first 2 that they were to lose, and then into this one. snufaffu's 1v3, it better mean something to these members because sometimes it falls to the wayside. This round only a rifle, this round only pistols, and this round out of the mid, they will get themselves in a head-to-head flat where the pistols are still dealing damage. The
Pistols are still getting it done, and snufaffu's team are still committing, including himself, but when he's around, anything may be possible.
Oh, but possible. What is probable? 2-on-2 that, sure, you might not have a lot of faith in with Rue down low. Never can count Big Dog out. snufaffu taking a few steps into fire. Fortunately, they're going to sidestep both the defenders left. Big Dog worried more about this A site. They stick in, and instead this is going to become a recovery effort of a couple of rifles in mid and a likely save.
That's what I was going to say. Just at that point, I mean, call it what it is. Success. That round, go get your guns, man. You've got your lost bonus. You have 2 players with armor, with, if saved, can really make a meal out of this one. I mean, they've got an op for something that they won't have in 2 rounds regardless. Like, damage they're dealing is good enough. It was always a long shot and a far cry from what would have been a victory in the round overall, but this is the next best thing. See that their opponents are also nearing that $0 threshold that they won't be able to recover from if they continue on that path.
But you asked for more.
And another one died.
Oh, no,
That's really, really bad. This buy is
unfortunate.
going to be better for Big Dog than that of their opponents, I believe.
I mean, not really. Not really better.
I don't know.
I don't think they're going to buy. And even if they did, I mean, 2 MP9s?
They got AKs.
Yeah.
No utility for 2. Op for Wet Willy. Yeah, this is the smarter decision, I guess.
I think so. This is what I expected them to do.
Still not going to get an op next. Oh.
No, but maybe they can win this round with Wet Willy holding that with Rue, the star that he's been. Even if he couldn't clutch in that last one. You asked for more. snufaffu's clutch couldn't be meaningless. Well, they followed it up with a victory, tight as it may have been. They can't take their foot off the gas. It's the same type of pressure from Big Dog in this round. Stack up on A. Wet Willy, the only man on B.
All they need, they don't really require anybody else on the B site when the op is stationed. As long as they get themselves at least some communication in his direction as to what's going on. snufaffu with a snapback on Sefa, Rue, undetected, unknown, eventually pops out, shooting all over the place, a little bit crazy, and that's Cronoli at the ramp to expose as Willy catches one with their backs turned as well. It might be the hot foot back to his teammate. It may be the perfect time to do it.
Oh, yeah. He's going to rotate all the way around, going towards mid. I don't really think they can afford to do that if this is on for a round. No kits
I think it's fine
for anyone. Feels like to me, Cronoli is once again going to be on the hot seat to make the first move, especially as Wet Willy is going to walk in to see nothing.
20 seconds starting now to get into the site. A molly on the ground. Nobody to hold it. If he picks it up, that's a huge win, especially if he can get on top of another duel. He'll let it loose. The Palace player's not going to be a problem. He's going to need to fight beyond it. Cronoli will kill him. Willy's already on it. Eventually to hit it, but no kit means that they can't get any further in round number 5. That is a wrap. He will keep this up. This next round is going to be the biggest and most important that we may have seen on Mirage thus far.
Had to get those running shoes on, get out there. The damage done is so immense.
Yes.
snufaffu, they've never had a clear control of their economy. Not one time throughout this Mirage at this point. Round 6, and it's still the case for Wilson. Just going to have barely enough to get a Galil and a few bits of utility out. And, well, it said, not going to afford an op. Well, they saved it twice. That's how they can get it.
That's true.
Big Dog losing the last couple of rounds, but by no means knocked out. Ooh, a very ambitious call being made into Wet Willy's crosshairs. No! Won't be connected, but Wet Willy able to reposition. Nades come flying. 2, in fact. Wet Willy still flying out.
What?
He's gonna burn one alive, but his rifler gets nada. Nothing on the site. Owned by snufaffu. Absolutely insane. He finds 2 openers onto this B site.
I don't know how that's possible. He was free-firing him through the corner. He had dinked him. And he finished it with a second headshot on top of it. snufaffu, that can't be real. Can't really justify getting any more of your bodies dedicated to a retake that's all for naught. It's going to be decided in the beginning to where the call that was made from Wet Willy and team was fine. It was good. It was actually exactly what they would have wanted. The shoulder was spotted. It was actually jiggling, so they had to have some semblance of willingness to bait out a player if it meant that they could force the first of them off of the angle. That's not to be the case exactly the way that they were envisioning it. They get him off without even needing a body to go down. First face was a Dren, but listen, ain't no jumping double from Cold. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think two missing pieces there. Obviously, you know, that miss from Wet Willie, jiggle, fair enough. Traditions, though, gotta post up something in such a strong position under window, in my mind, especially when they're running through mollies and everything in order to get there.
2 of them.
Yeah. So, a little bit lackluster from Traditions in the anchoring position there as the rifler on B. Wet Willie did all that he possibly could. Big Dog, 3 saves, and a rebuy, including an op.
Spotted 1. Has known not to be a safe place, not until Cameron has dealt with Root. Seth was also close, but once the smoke fades, they're going to be betrayed as they phase it. Maybe just going to peek on beyond it. There is a corner where he could catch the kill on a snufaffu, but you'd have to get up pretty damn early in the morning to pull one over them. And this map is looking a lot more like it. snufaffu again. The second map in a row, able to give his opponents a run for their money.
I just looked at his stat line for like the first time in a round or two. How did he get to 13 and 4? Whoa.
Killing a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching that happen. Just the numbers still blowing me away.
Oh, me.
And that's exactly what snufaffu's been doing all day long. Both these teams playing Mirage in their quarterfinal engagement, both relatively close, 13-9, I believe. For snufaffu's Tuition Farm, it was 13-8 for Big Dog. So already warmed up, ready and walking, and I mean, that might be the best possible sign if you're a snufaffu's Tuition Farm fan. Everybody laughing, having a fantastic time right now. Smiles on everybody's face, joking during the timeout. For Big Dog.
You're laughing. You're laughing. Big Dog is dying on the streets of Mirage, and you're laughing.
Yes, and it's hilarious.
Taking a moment into this bomb site, and that is it. One moment. One moment where they finally are able to capture the heart of snufaffu, but even in return, Sefa will burn. They're only not unknown, but actually seeing one index that smoke, it betrays Agura, and another one? I don't even know how his spider senses had tingled that wild to find Wilson. But this still screams desperation from his team to get through ramp, which they've not posted out from. It's Bones who was posted in with his AWP. He waited to see if somebody would enter his line. He was mistaken that it would ever come.
This is a little bit crazy, I feel, from Wet Willie. Gonna stick around for this. Keep on moving, keep on climbing. And this is kind of giving Big Dog a little bit of misinformation, too. snufaffu walking back out the A ramp. Wet Willie seeing nothing, seeing nada.
I can't believe they've left this as vacant as they have. I guess that ramp walk is enough for that, or the palace walk?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just all misinfo. And now when the smoke pops, they're like, oh, okay, now this is what we've got to deal with.
Hey, wait a minute.
Can't believe that Big Dog have like entirely left the site that they just held on to. And it's so back. It's so on unless Willie can pull back and in. He has. Smoke dropped towards the bomb. Tradition's got to get back in. Oh, actually, he's been loud. Been very loud about this. Now Bones can isolate for the upper. And a quick flick onto this plant. Cannot find it. So much smoke. Oh, and eventually we'll lock him down. Another clutch, another round. It's a 1v2 where some odd moves in the mid-round for Big Dog are what makes it them pay the price.
Something about this map. Something about this team on their choice. Let's also be completely aware. So,
Yeah, but no.
They were kind of describing what these players are capable of in the aim style of game, right? And I mean, last map it kind of didn't really scream that all the rounds that we had seen lost, but Mirage, this is where they were bound to do some of their best stuff, right? That third Anubis, I don't really know what to come to think of that. It's a little bit of far ways away after they're getting close to winning this round here, Big Dog, but even then, it's just such whiplash that we're witnessing. But Agura flying over the stairwell. A flash coming over, but exposed from spawn. Nearly the whiff, but Willie's still in with the kill as Agura was already made known.
Man, in such low HP, Traditions just got to find one of those bullets. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just to tack on to that conversation, what you're talking about in that discussion is, you know, individuals definitely playing well here for snufaffu's tuition for him, but I think that the CT side making a lot of mistakes, actually, too. Wet Willie with that push. He gets into Palace, and I mean, that's after they've, like, just won the site hold. Big Dog. At least bounce back. For another round that goes in their favor. Sefa gets activated. Mid-fight, Wet Willie overwhelming that, as well as Rue. I don't think he's necessarily been fully seen, but they do get one up catwalk. The swiftness there of STF. Gonna get them back. Oh, it was great positioning, great routing from Traditions, and thankfully he's at least bought time for Wet Willie and Rue to arrive on the scene. It's 15th frag for Wet Willie, as Agura at 1v4 is just way too much for him to do. Clutch is sure, but that, not that.
I was just about to say, before you were shocked when you read the score of snufaffu, are you not shocked to read out loud that 15-5 for Wet Willie?
I feel like I've been saying his name a lot.
Feel like that?
I do feel that. Yeah.
I feel like I have not. I feel like I said it once earlier in this half at the very beginnings.
The first, like, 4 rounds.
Yeah. I don't know where this guy has come from after map 1, to be honest. This time when he gets out into mid, he hits the leg. No tag onto the next of them, though, and this is a Glock round accompanied by 2 techs. They run it through a little closer on. The nade will finish off the job, but Traditions can't go down without a kill this time. Can't go down from these pistols without a damn thing. The B-bomb site is done for, and this is a problem.
Yeah, unfortunately, Traditions just getting isolated and exposed. Some of these rough performances right now. Sefa flanked. Aware of that possibility, but there's so many up ahead of them.
Unacceptable.
It truly is. In a semifinal, you need to be able to get your one on the B-bomb site, and Traditions been given many opportunities. And in many of those situations, not able to do so. Had a good pistol round, give him that, but this round, or this half, getting out of hand now, and that certainly a not insignificant portion of it.
Getting into ladder fast, not going to be doing anything with it, just going to be sitting here and awaiting their arrival. Playing a little bit more as a pillar for his B-site player, who actually isn't going to be playing directly to B-site initially, actually closer to Rude than anything else, off of one another. I hope they want to pull somebody into their trap. But I like to see that there's a lot of swift action in mid from snufaffu's team to also just gain their control without much hesitation. I mean, they get him up through underpass, they get the utility at the top side of Con, and in the first 45, everything as far as phase 1 of their plan was concerned, success.
Yeah, it's just one piece on the other side of the map in Wilson. Oh, great dodge there for Sefa. Will be traded. Oh, and Rue got to get the gun out. Oh, that's an ugly one. So Wet Willie gonna have to do it again. Oh, he's not quite spotted it and stuck around a little too long. Traditions, last man standing, as he puts in a ton of damage, but no frag, nothing at all. As we inch closer to that one. Beautiful stuff out of snufaffu and Co. That round top to bottom, well done.
I think that's Bones getting a sip of that Dr. Pepper. In the middle of these halftime transitions. Perfect time for it. Power up a little bit. Get your sugar up. I wonder if anybody is sipping on a high noon or anything of that variety, where the other day we saw that it was, I believe, it was Icarus who was tagging on to a Bud Light. Not a Bud Light, a...
Yeah, it was.
Was it a Bud Light?
Yeah, it was.
Miller Light, that's it.
Oh, okay. I lied.
Because it was the white and gold can.
I'll tell you this. Maybe past the point of that, considering semifinals.
You never know. Lake, Wanderers Land won. 2 Heinekens after map 1 ended.
True.
Came back and won.
That was a late day, though.
No, it was pretty early. Wanderers Land won. It was like 8 o'clock.
All right. Can they continue to be perfect on these pistols? Big Dog be the perfect time to do that. Great find out of Cannoli. Traditions activating. He's immediately traded by Agura. And Sefa gets there in the end. Agura still alive. Oh, fantastic. To only deny. So snufaffu. How about another one? How about another clutch? Not this time. Perfect fours across the board on pistol rounds for Big Dog.
Different beast right now has been tamed temporarily in snufaffu. AKs, Galils, MAC-10s. Time to put a smile on your face at the very least for this map that hasn't really been that many of those in rainbows. Sunshine has started to come back into the eyes of the Big Dog players, hopefully. Get some quick little picks, start to get some multi-frags under your belt, and who knows? It might be right back on where it had left off. This map, not as if it is the most CT-sided thing in all of history. I wouldn't even say close. It's very team-sided Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I mean, just a smidgen CT-sided if you're on the numbers. snufaffu's tuition farm. Uh-oh. That's the bomb. That is the bomb. Panic stations. snufaffu going for the 5-7! snufaffu is unending, unyielding, and there's no stopping him now. Off angle, but he's been seen. Still, low HP. Surely. Not going to be more. Where that came from? Cameron with a USP. Are you serious? Rue is dead, and Big Dogs fall. Oh my gosh. Down into the TV room, and snufaffu finds the perfect time, cuts the bomb, and then takes no prisoners.
First player, might I add. The first player trying to take space in the apartments to which they have no players embedded in is the bomb carrier.
No, they had somebody out apartments on B, like about to be on B.
Not, but didn't clear from apartments though.
Apparently not.
I think he.
Well, I mean, he was underpass. snufaffu was underpass.
So snufaffu came up through underpass
Yes.
and traded places with him.
Yeah. So there's at least that, but still. No trade.
No mid-control to know if there was ever anybody underpass in the first place, and the Abs player didn't clear underpass either, so there's a new layer.
They took top mid control, but yeah. It's bad. Not as bad as you were thinking, but it's bad.
It's pretty damn bad. Playing up against pistols, it's pretty bad. It would be wise to cross your T's and dot your I's when you have nothing to lose. And it all to gain.
Fortunately, I think they actually had everything to lose in that situation.
You don't think they already unfortunately lost it a little bit?
Well, yeah. Beforehand. A few oversights. And I mean, those kind of the mistakes when I was talking about Big Dog and some of the struggles that they had in the first half. You know, a few mistakes like that. Ones that maybe aren't to that degree, but certainly painful.
Yikes. Oh, that was their chance, really. There will be one more reasonable one in their gun round. Will come in due time. The bomb plant would certainly help it, but the lineup for Cameron finds 3, the 4th of which kind of snagged away, but you would, if you covered the kill feed, not necessarily be baffled at the fact that it could have been him to have gotten it. 18 and 10. Now he is a new contender for a top sideboard player. No plant, as mentioned, would have been nice, would have been potentially them set up for that next round a little more pretty, but at 11 to 5, that's where they're going to have their next real look in, unless they can make the miraculous Glocks in which the snufaffu crew had worked out. One time too many for my liking.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think no Glock shenanigans this time. Just the single kill. A few headshots at minimum. Seems to me like snufaffu going as fast as possible maybe got a rocket engine strapped to their back towards this third map. Nubis, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Well, here it is. The round. The chance for Big Dog to break back through. Towards A, 4 times. Just gonna have Rue as the mid lurk in this scenario. Gotta be careful too, because Bones is currently kind of watching this. Lots of pressure being applied just by Rue. So if Big Dog can actually take this timing out A, they might have a good chance. Great trade for Bones. But the fact that Rue gets one for the amount of eyes that were on him is impressive. snufaffu, no choice but to continue fighting. Just to move forward, but he too gets denied access to the site.
Molly, one goes beyond Wilson's sightlines to start. Now he knows of the one, the other at the stairwell, having been killed by his teammate. This is disaster. This is the end of this map, realistically. Again, no plant. Again, minimal kills. And again, it's going to be the side of the CT swings that get them that one round better back. 24-10 for snufaffu. You say he has no choice but to fight, as if it might not be his best option to do that anyway. It might not be better than any other alternative. Hiding? No. Waiting for a rotate? Nah. Get a multi-kill and then win the round, like you've done so well so many a time. That's got to be the way of the world when he's at the top of it, and you're just living in it.
Yeah, right back to it. Impressive. Big Dog gonna have to impress even further. This is all in. Chips on the table towards the A site. Ongura. That's Cameron, who's not so quietly really leveled up his game. Oh, Traditions, a little bit of a weird audio moment, but Ongura and Cameron still able to offer up 2 collectively as Cameron steps up for his teammate who goes down. snufaffu survives, believe it or not, in connector.
Any other weapon, he's probably a dead man.
At that distance, its accuracy is too
Great, and snufaffu peers over topside stairs after Cepha is shooting inside a spawn. Wilson wants to get out so very badly, but op v op, it wasn't really working. Rifle v op, it might be better for it. Trade out to the other weapon, and Wet Willie sits inside of the smoke. He plays a little bit of a game of cat and mouse. Hasn't yet been found, but Bones has the read. He gets one step beyond this, and the smoke will have faded, and he will see Wilson, and he will secure them a second map. We head to Anubis after all.
I was really actually on board with Willie. That reposition was super smart from him. It's too bad that Bones reading so well, so brilliantly. It does feel like no wrong could come to snufaffu's tuition farm at the end of Mirage. Not just him playing individually well. I was highlighting Cameron, who I think stepped up massively in the interim after snufaffu's clutch, then was continued on later into that half. And, well, see how it goes. 13-5, the final scoreline is a tough pill to swallow after what was really impressive nuke out of Big Dog. They do not get anywhere close on Mirage.
If they had HLTV stats for this, snufaffu would be very happy with what he's been able to post, I will say. He's going to take that and plug it into his Leadify, I can only imagine, after this, and have good reason to. This practically was one big highlight reel for the guy. I mean, he can pepper in 2Ks, 3Ks, 1 kill, hide. It doesn't really matter, because everything that he does, seemingly in an effort to bring someone over to him in some way, shape, or form, his kills have impact that go beyond just getting man advantages and things of that nature. And I say somehow, it's very evident if you just watch the game, simply put.
Yeah, I mean, he's been able to deliver in like those mid rounds, but then also in the clutches.
And also in the early rounds.
Yeah, that's where it's kind of going.
Jeez.
It's been everywhere. It's definitely an impressive performance out of snufaffu. And as we were kind of like joking about on Nuke, I guess there's a pretty clear reason why he is the namesake of the team. Definitely kind of earning that slot, as it were. Nonetheless, Anubis is going to be up next after this Mirage domination. Need a few minutes. I think Big Dog certainly need a few minutes, so we will take a few as well. We have Anubis up next. We will return with that in just a few. We've been catching all the excitement, and it is more on the way. Map 3, Anubis, in our semi-final matchup after snufaffu's squad, off of his back more than anyone, able to power his squad over into a third. Tony, very much a storyline of firepower right there.
Yeah, it kind of was, I guess, telling that maybe that was why they lost map 1, to be honest with you. And
Okay.
maybe us being, maybe me, I would say, being a little bit blinded by that. Being a little bit blinded by the fact that it looked like snufaffu's team were, getting into the groove of shooting above all else. And I guess they might not have just been in the best positions to make it happen across the board, right? And then into Mirage, it's very easy for them to be a little bit more of a unit, right? They don't have to send somebody down and do it a completely different vertical side of the map. They don't have to dedicate somebody to sitting on inner. They don't have to really separate their squad all that much. And when it comes to them now having their room to work, having a little bit more general freedoms to make decisions outside of that being cut and dry of a nuke. I mean, it can kind of speak for itself on some of the players that were actually turning up outside of just snufaffu himself.
Yeah, and I think that is pretty nicely moves us onto the flip side of that conversation.
This is weird now.
Where, we were talking about how Big Dog had some individuals. I mean, Wet Willie was insane.
Yeah.
Rue, unfortunately, off of a cliff. And same true in a situation where I think Stefa had some step-up moments, but, Tradition's just not having a good game.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was tough.
And one where, listen, I'm going to be really, really kind every time almost to a B anchor. But, he had opportunity, and he wasn't able to convert on that.
I'll also be very kind. I'll even go as far as to say empathetic. I'm a B anchor. But
yeah,
you can't get overrun by Glocks after having ample amount of time as well as communications that they're coming your way. Not even just through the apartments, but up through Cat. Pick an angle, pick a spot. Make sure that it's the one that you're dedicated to because you know it'll get you the kills. You don't need to stay alive. You don't need to buy for a rotation. You need to be confident in your ability to use a weapon against unarmored opponents. And that didn't really seem to come over in that moment. And unfortunately for him, it didn't really seem to come over in any of the moments that he was needed to do so against better or worse weaponry. So,
yeah.
I mean, listen, we're on Anubis now. I don't know what positions he's playing, but if I'm going to be using my own experiences, I'm expecting to see him over on the A site, and that is absolutely the last thing that we can have happen is a converted A site take with no kills.
Especially,
we got a while before that, though,
yeah,
for him.
T-side start here off the back of the knife. Excuse me?
You're excused.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we were being told by production that snufaffu's team was saying they haven't won a knife in a long time.
Ever, actually.
Agura or something.
They don't think that they've won a knife round ever, is what they say.
I fear that might be a little bit of hyperbole, but...
Cannoli responded by saying they were due.
But they weren't.
He's just trying to be nice, man. It's good sportsmanship.
It's true, he is. It's too bad he was wrong.
They did win the knife round?
Wait, what? Snufaffu won the knife round, started CT side?
Apparently they did.
Okay, according to production, absolutely. That's insane. That is an insane thing to do, but we'll see if it does pan out.
To each their own, I suppose.
Forward position into Canal. They take the fight, and it's into that same fight that the T's are going to tap onto. Cameron, the heading to, looking for more, and he does push even further forward with Bones with the backstab. This is all going wrong, but Rue, he was able to do this so many times. But Cameron has the kit. Not gonna stick.
Cameron knows he needs to run him down, though. Knows he needs to run him down. Oh, my Lord. Talk about running him down. He ran him over. He's flattened outside B main.
I was talking about Cameron having some, I'd say, relatively quiet compared to the reality that snufaffu was so dominant. Step up there on Mirage. I was actually really impressed with a couple of the moments that he had.
Yeah.
And that is just like adding additional reasoning to why I was excited about what Cameron was doing. I mean, those were so clean.
What he can do.
Cameron?
Cam off. Cam off. Right now, Cameron.
See if he can stick to it.
Molly for Molly, nade for nade. They're going through it.
No, they can't reasonably push through even further. I think probably for the better. Look at how much damage was done by by snufaffu onto Big Dog. Almost everybody with an SMG. He saw you got Cameron and snufaffu there. Ogura flashes through. It's in a position. It's only going to be Wilson actually joining up. Cameron still with that easy peasy as Wilson continues to be a threat. Drops a smoke, and he almost got away with a fourth.
That's actually probably one of the best a-holes I've seen amidst that chaos in a while. Rue intentionally stutter steps, continuing to try and path with his teammates that had went through into the bomb site to try and offset it a little bit because he wanted to get him a little bit off guard. And in that, he actually lets him reset. He actually gives him the time to get that frag and then be like, okay, well, I don't hear anything else, but I can't afford to leave my post. The A main players walk in, they throw nades that force him back to Rue's angle. He's not going to be caught lackadaisical, kills him out, and then automatically knows where the next are to return from. Pretty crazy, to be honest with you, that he's able to actually move his mouse in the way for all those directions and find the kills, but they almost pushed him to their limit intentionally and almost inadvertently to their own demise. A double kill, Cameron spams down, Canal's not clear, but it may as well be.
Oh my gosh, wait, this is crazy. I can't believe that snufaffu actually went back to clear that.
I think he actually was looking towards the right side cubby of spawn and then adjusted.
That's definitely what it was.
I was going to say, there's got to be some reason he looked that way.
Good call.
That's weird.
No, you're definitely right on that one. Another impact, couple of kills there from Cameron, and it is all smiles there for snufaffu's tuition farm.
Bones got some energy. And some drip. He's got the chain on.
Energy across the board, though, for snufaffu. I mean, I think that 13-5 will do that to you.
Yeah. I have a story time I'll tell you after this map, or rather after this round, because I believe potentially we might be staring down the barrel of a 4-0 on the CT side of all things, to where if they had in fact chosen this direction, then it looks to be for good reason, but it's all proven here and now against AKs. Head for head, spotted, Rue not being able to stick in with it for much longer given the fact that there's an incendiary, but he can play on the back of it. He gets above. He's able to hit every single shot, but maybe a little bit too much to ask for the next of them trying to get deeper into that once the snufaffu already had the 5v4.
I mean, it's so deep. You just never anticipate that he's going to stick around. That is insane.
Yeah.
Okay, then. And with that, somehow, Big Dog recover. snufaffu, maybe an overstep initially, but then Wet Willie does whatever the hell that just was. And it should be, at least on paper, an easy enough way to clean up the gun round, because Big Dog about to approach B, where nobody will be home. snufaffu just taking a stacky approach in their disadvantage. They stacked wrong.
Get ourselves a little bit closer in towards this E-box position if we are Wilson, but even the distance created by Cronoli is too much for Bones to refrag on. And I think that Cameron may need to just join him for his save at some point now, having already been seen. So calm on calm. They know where both of them are. Let's run it back in round number 5. All right, story time. Ready?
Yeah.
Let me set the scene for you. It's my first ever LAN in New Jersey. I've never played from home before, okay? I'm with a team of other people also from New Jersey. A mixture of people who haven't played together before, main and advanced. And we make a run to the final, and we are dominating every game. Not a loss. Not even, I would say, even close to a loss. Maybe a moment where we had to lock in because we were trolling and having maybe too much fun. Never even a close game. We get to the finals, and we're playing up against a team of players predominantly known for being advanced and main players as well. Maybe you're familiar with like a Jared. Might have told you this story before, but yeah. Jared, you know, I believe Jackro actually was on the other team, who might be in chat right now. I think Fat Guy might have been there, maybe not.
That's his name. He's not being mean.
I'm not being mean. It's actually his name. And we win map 1 really well. Like, we have some hard reads, decently hard fought, but then we wrap them up, and we were like, oh, we got this. We're so excited. We just had a really good map 1. We basically won. This is awesome. We get absolutely blown out. Backs blown out next 2 maps. Never even a chance, never even a question. It was just over right then and there. And that's the kind of thing where after that last map being won as convincingly as it was, I want to tie into the fact that snufaffu, although they get off a 13-5 and they get a 3-0 start, that 3-0 start could end right there. This could be a 13-3 from then on, and they need to ensure that that isn't the case, because it's a telltale that I would rather not relive myself.
Don't get overconfident. That is the moral of the story.
Don't be confident. Don't think you're good at the game.
Confidence kills.
Don't.
The other players, because you got to be confident. Big swing! Oh, Agura goes in and tagged out. Hold on a second. Wilson, this is a real nice angle that is He's just gonna give up?
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, Willie is on one.
Been on one ever since the end of Nuke.
That started out a 5v4, yeah?
It did. Agura's sticking around a little bit too long. It's actually maybe so fitting that that was the story that you told, because Agura with the opening and then stays with that fight in a position that he didn't have the support in. Well, maybe a little overconfident, one might say. A save should be pretty easy to confirm. No big dog members going hunting. They've got their own economy to worry about.
Underrated chat message. I'd rather be a big dog than a farmer. I'd rather be a big dog too, probably. They get more love.
Well, see, what you don't realize is that there's plenty of big dogs on farms.
Right. But that would, yeah, and? What does that have to do with anything?
Farm dog?
Yeah?
Could be a big dog and a farmer at the same time.
No. Dogs don't farm. They're just on farms.
Okay.
Foolish retort.
You've clearly never been on a farm.
I've never seen a dog hold a hoe.
That's true. I have not seen that either. But you know about those like prairie dogs that
pick up shovels and tools and
no.
pickaxes?
That like there's all the sheep and they corral them.
Yeah. Is that farming? Is that considered farming?
It's in the farm industry. I'd put it that way.
Well,
Willie?
He's kind of farming.
He sure is.
We already made that joke once, but it's just still true.
Yeah, and Zephyr with the second entry. This one's looking like they've got to save again. snufaffu, what are you supposed to do in this case?
Save.
Yeah, I said that already.
Well, I mean, save again.
Maybe not going to be doing that. Hold on a second. I mean, this is still not wise, but they're going to go.
Only one kid. If Wilson goes down, it will be close to the bomb, but not close to the timer being ticked as they try to spam away at that pillar. Somewhat of a lineup, but Bones is out of there. He's been rattled. Like Bones do get sometimes.
Like Bones, the TV show?
No. Like Bones, the thing in your body. Things in your body.
Right, that one. Okay. I get confused easily.
3, 2, 3. This is not as close as you may think because of the scoreline alone. The map can sometimes make that feel a little bit askew. More than enough right now for snufaffu to be at least cozy until their next gun round comes along. Don't be freaking out. Don't be going too wild. Could try something to get a little bit curious as to what's going on in Canals, though. I see Wilson has flashbangs and he's stationed at mid. He hasn't let them go, but they've still jumped out in towards Canals to see if they can get a timing. Last time they tried to walk through the smoke, they were absolutely hammered. It will happen again.
Hammer down. Right on their head. Oh, Ogura.
Next up.
Hold on. Surely going to be checked. Surely going to be watched. Absolutely is. This one's not as clean from Wet Willie, but still victorious. Wilson breaking through. Sorry, that was Crinoli. Looked like it was Wilson who got the kill. I was incorrect. Bones is still like here. He could still have an impact on this round, but it's got to be just him. Everything to do. And he's blind for 1,000,000 years plus one.
Cameron's shiny little 5.7. It's pretty. But its effectivity, fortunately, English, not going to be all that high. That wasn't what they were leaning on, though. They were very much so anticipating the time where they would be able to strike on the rifles. Nades looking decent. Guns hot and ready. Straight off the assembly line. The main flash with a number of bodies to go along with it. And behind it's Wet Willie to center up a seemingly start of round execute. The pop open that smoke. They'll turn, hoping that there won't be any flashes that go beyond. There's not. There's only just now the rotation and in. Bones with one before they're able able to get off that plant. There is no smoke for the heaven, no adjustment for the next of them though, and now he'll need to wait.
Those rotations are really actually fast for snufaffu, but unfortunately, utility on point. Big Dog not able to stop them. 1-for-1 trade. That's through Camera. Flank ongoing, and that one's going to be successful. So Cameron breaks through. Sefa. They both got to take a fight towards heaven, and Sefa just running down into Bones' crosshair. Getting a little bit frustrated at this placement, at the fact that they've lost all their teammates. And Big Dog making some aggressive decisions that in the round early were still tied up.
Time ticking down to none. And even now, Wet Willie looking to maybe lock horns with Bones at some point in time. For the moment, he's actually going to be stationed out at the backside of B. He loses his friend. His comrade receives an incendiary on top of it to ensure that the body incinerated with no evidence left. This is map 3. This is with it all to do. So there's no time to worry about any sort of a fallback. And Rue, same story for them. There's no room to hope for a fallback because you're going to be dead before you ever even have the chance to formulate a thought such as that.
Long time gone from that nuke where we saw a level out of Rue that was so impressive. Get out of this round. Big Dog 3-on-5. Doubtful to get anywhere with this one, but as the smoke fades on main, it's 3 individuals up against the army. 3v3 here on B. Utility starts flying. snufaffu not over peeking. Cameron goes wide. He gets his, and the Wet Willie has burned one and got one with his op. Cannoli, surely not. And it won't be that. Cameron, a little break, a little hiatus for a couple of rounds, but he is right back in business.
Don't think we've seen a timeout yet unless I missed it in freeze time. So they still hold on to a stock of those. I think Big Dog, frankly, might have benefited from one of the earlier rounds to have pulled away with one of those. I think they're kind of falling short of the expectations that they need to in order to have the breathing room, and which might be the reason why snufaffu would pick the CT side and thinking that if they get themselves a certain number of rounds, at least in this first half, then they should be fine and dandy to run away with the game. They'd rather not face the comeback staged.
I mean, they're kind of already there.
And that's not happening. They're not running. Yeah, they're not going to have to work against the comeback. They're the ones who are ahead. So
yeah,
don't even think about that.
Not a spot that you often think about, Agura's position. The right side of that door, a new opportunity. There's smoke refreshed. Not going to see the T walk on through. But Willie posted. He walked this up. I don't think that they actually know that the op is there. Wouldn't have heard the scope. Cannoli still patient, still waiting. There it is, Wilson. Giving away, but Ogura. Perfect time for him to fly out. Takes down the op. There's more where that came from, but he's got to try and find a little bit of support. Support that comes in the form of Bones. The coverage there is perfect as Ogura flexes back that muscle to another fight. With the MP9 shining bright, Bones through smoke. Just tracking where the nade came from.
Oh, he saw him jump.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautifully.
Jumped over top of it, and he followed him down.
Beautifully handled. snufaffu. A certainty now that they're at least tied at halftime. I mean, 6 rounds CT side, we're already talking about a pretty damn good half.
Awake and alive. Everybody seeming, except for snufaffu, to be making this one
I mean, he got him there.
a
Come on.
nightmare. I know, that's fine. snufaffu doesn't need to do anything. He might have at some point in this game, so I'm not going to cut him slack just because he played 2 good maps. As a matter of fact, I'd make that reason to believe that he's got to have a third too. Consistency is key, my friend, and he won't take that as an excuse either if they lose this game. So once that win comes over, then we can have talks about how great everybody did and how awesome snufaffu was on maps number 1 and 2. Said it in a previous best of 3, and we'll continue to say it. Job not done. Agura blasts away the player at A main. Cannoli trying to either get in between them, fighting with his demons as to whether or not to do that or to plant for the last of his 2 teammates that he does still have. He'll choose the latter. Probably the right move.
I mean, they really got to stall them out at these choke points. For now, doing so. Bones down. At least still Cameron coming in from camera, and there's more where that came from. 2 smoke and a flash to get to snufaffu. Back out into this. Cannoli with just the SMG. And it's slow. The second man. Everybody up in heaven in game ender. That's great stuff from Cannoli. But the bomb being defused inside the smoke. Full 10 seconds for Agura. They just can't find him. And they just cannot find where he's located. If he had a kit, he had that for sure. But no kit, no clue. And it will be 5 for Big Dog.
Oh man, in the event that they have a kit. That gets so crazy.
Why didn't they have a kit?
I'm sure someone did, somewhere.
I mean, Agura's just like full bot after winning like 2 rounds in a row. So, I'm just saying the money was there.
Maybe he dropped for somebody.
Could be.
I don't know. Definitely would have been nice to have one in hindsight, but that, as they say, is 2020.
Flashbang goes wide after the molly, hoping that he can isolate one of their duels towards the doors. Dropping out, Bones a little bit offset to the right, not able to connect. And even then, he's got to worry more so about the other end more than anything else. Jumping out to Pizza, the need to blow the smoke, but it won't need it to be seen because they've yet to actually themselves go into it. Shoulder seen, actually blasts Bones away, and a spray with their backs all turned. Agura for a third. Wilson to clutch it with the bomb to be planted. Don't give away your position yet. No, surely not. Or just go leaping and bounding through to the site, knowing that one has to be to the left, the last undiscovered. He did get a kill. A comm from a teammate would sure do him wonders, but even with a comm, it will not matter when Wet Willie hits his triple kill. We go again, the next half upon us.
All tied up. We're knotted. 6-piece, but as we've said before, T-side on the Anubis, you'd expect a little bit more. Big Dog not able to post that up. snufaffu, a little bit of a different type of approach, but he's got Cameron, he's got Agura. Everybody else is playing at their peak. snufaffu's tuition farm, so happy with posting up 6 CT rounds, I'm sure. With that, Big Dog going on to their defensive. snufaffu approaching towards B. Currently, I mean, Wet Willie there to throw some supportive utility, but this is not a B site that really has a whole lot of defense. It's just ruin Wet Willie at range, though Wet Willie will at least claim one before going down.
They don't actually know that this side is clear, so Rue is not as safe as he may think, at least not long term. It's going to be them pushing into spawn and finding what they would have wanted and finding their early kills. And Seth was trying to just swing on to the one he knew was close to hug the wall. There's one even deeper than that, though, and this one's just ugly. It's so annoying to have to work around these positions and these angles to which the kit now needs to be found and stuck, but I don't think that there is one. I think it's going to need to be Rue to tap out 2. Not happening, not today.
Pistol round woes when talking about snufaffu's tuition farm up until map 3, but they have claimed a couple here on the 3rd and final map. A very uncomfortable post plant that you were talking about. But they do have the win conditions planted for the right individuals. They get street control. They kill Wet Willie. I think that's when the decision is made. Never losing sight to the tease of what needs to happen there. All 5-7s again. Don't play with fire, my friend, though, with a nade out. Oh, he's got help. He's got Rue. They're going to keep coming through. Oh, no. This could be the end of the line on this round, and it will be Rue and Wet Willie, a tag team duo, teammates, and a shining light. This Big Dog get a big force and win it.
Comes time where you start to have some question marks rose.
Arisen.
Questions that will rise
There we go.
in regards to snufaffu's tuition farm's intuition farm, in parentheses. Because right now, knowing what the play to make with an AK-47 in solo is to be out in the mid, and actually the CT's the one to throw the nades. They wanted it to be a contact play, and it is one, and it's one that works pretty damn well.
Oh, here we go again.
Traditions is the A player, I was correct.
There it is. Needs this. Needs it bad. Does deliver. Maintains game under control, and that is an important piece of the puzzle for making this retake a possibility. Sefa with lots of utility. Rue claiming the AK. Back over in mid. Sefa gone down, and a little bit of an overstep there from Traditions. Didn't wait for Rue, so all the utility is for naught. Kit, at least Rue for a clutch. Just one chance to nail that shot. Tap again. Hope that they bite. Bite they will,
Bang.
But on to a free kill. Massive swing from that MP9, and snufaffu, they do exactly what they just saw done to them. Force buy and win it. Back in business with a T-side lead.
Last week, I was playing MM with Rue, and he said, "I'm pulling hair" before wide swinging window on Mirage and dying. That's what one of the chat members said. I'm pulling hair. Swings mid and dies. That's what I'm going to start saying, and if you know that comment, you're just going to see what I do. This lead that's now been built is not a great one, but, you know, where Rome wasn't built in a day.
They do say that. Tuition wasn't farmed in a day.
Nope.
Because it takes two. Mid setup. I don't know if it's going to get fully tested, actually. I mean, they're there. It looked like they wanted to start to make that move, but they just sit and wait. snufaffu just handling business. They're going to walk away, but Big Dog, they have tucked tail and put their resources at A.
Flash in front. Nade in deep.
But he rotated. In fact, Big Dog were already walking back over to A, or over to B in the form of Rue and Cronoli.
Yeah, but they're not actually really in the site by any means. Only just now is Rue starting to enter that space, and now Cronoli will too. So the time in which they've delayed not only both at A, but now at B, it will come back to bite them. It will come back to be B with 3. The stack is here.
Here we go.
One after another. Cronoli first.
Willie spotted, seen, but turns. Oh, the coverage was lined up by a teammate, not able to be there. And Willie with a couple, Rue another, and there it is, up and down, back and forth. We swing. This one is all about this force buy war. And Big Dog, they have another victory. Just off of rotations more than anything, to be honest.
Keep roping them in on these rounds where it's just as if we were on a completely different map, it feels like. It's nobody falling asleep. Not yet. Not in this semifinal. Not in the other one as well. AAF taking the other match 2-0.
There we go.
As a matter of fact. So that little bit of a illusion that we had to potentially speaking again with a member of that team at the ends of this tournament, or at the very least seeing them, has come true. It's who we will see against them that we have yet to determine. And again, and again, and again, it feels as if nothing is ever set in stone. The B-pop, perfect.
We're going for this.
Yours here. All right.
And, well, Big Dog, we're there. Wrote that in the stone hundreds of years ago. It'll be a hot second before they get back. All poor traditions just can't get away. No solace today. That is kind of absurd. What is that? 4 spy wins in a row. Well, there's no way we would see a save here by Big Dog. They can't be giving that up. But as we get deeper and deeper into this half, the more that this goes on, the bigger the advantage goes to the victor. Big Dog currently on the losing effort of it. Gonna have to make it work once again. 3 MP9s. Very interesting setup they have.
It might be here live. I don't think it's live.
Oh. Yeah, that would do. Oh, yeah.
Dude, I need more creatine. My water gallon's empty.
Dude, that's a power move. I used to do that. The gallon jug of water.
Yeah, and then they came out with the actual like gallon jugs, and you can buy those now.
I mean, I think those existed at the time. It's just,
You think?
oh yeah.
I feel like people did that in the lack of them, and then in the advent of them, they were like, "There's a market that needs to be tapped."
Oh, maybe.
I wonder at what point that was, though. But just a wild guess. Just going out on a limb. Is it a whim or a limb? On a whim?
Out on a whim? Yeah, it's whim.
I think I've been saying limb all my life.
Sounds like the perfect time to rectify that.
Yeah, about that. I don't fix my mistakes. It's kind of my personality.
Oh, okay. Your personality is being wrong.
No, I'm right.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Good.
Guys, don't tell him that that's not true.
Good.
Don't let him know. If we speak quietly, we can't hear each other.
The baby's sleeping.
Looks like Rue was the one having the difficulties by the look of things. Though the lack of the admin tells me we might be doing all right.
Maybe they're just playing the silent game.
Maybe we should? Is that what you said?
No, maybe they are.
Oh.
Doing a little bit of match medic.
Oh, yeah. I got to get a round reset. That does make sense. That tracks. I do think that this half has kind of made it so I've like sort of lost the plot
Yeah.
a little bit. It's come down so much now to who wins the 4-spy war.
And who dies? Oh, sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, by default. But yeah, whoever is the victor in the 4-spy war, like top to bottom, now that we're so deep into this thing, just going to have such a massive advantage going into the rounds after that.
It's never ending, though.
Well, for now.
Nobody's won the Force by War, and it's been like 7 years. So.
The 7 years
Force by War. Jinx.
That was beautiful.
Minnesota.
That was not intentional. That's on land Kim.
You ever see that Call of Duty clip where it's just like I think it's elephants hate peanuts, and like two people at the same time in the same voice call for Call of Duty, they go, "Elephants don't hate peanuts, they love peanuts," and they say it in the same exact intonation. It's so crazy. It's like I think the meme is they put like Goku and Vegeta's like fusion on the screen. They all talk at the same time like that. But back to the game pretty quickly. There's a Molotov. Actually, the camera can go through. They're not going to have any idea. They eventually turn to a main, but only because of the flash. They even hit Hannah Kernoli is dead. This round might be done based on a singular missed nade or one intentionally placed, allowing them avenue.
Wet Willie. Oh, but he's not checking.
Gets his whistle right wet in there.
Yeah, and his bell rung. Big Dog out of this, and it's the end. Handshakes. The end of this war, because we finally found a conclusion. A victor got the spoils at snufaffu's tuition farm. But to take 2 victories in a row, likely to force Big Dog onto this save. Sefa, ages away, just hoping that this M4 is going to stay true to him. Will be in his domain. Okay.
I was wondering what that sound was. I turned around for a second. I thought you were shitting yourself.
Unfortunately, it doesn't matter. You distracted me. He went down. It's your fault. Snuffa, come get him.
Sorry. That was funny.
10-8. And talked about during that tech pause. What does this mean?
The tech pause?
No. The win.
Oh.
Forced by war.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying this just means the third in a row.
Easy.
Consecutive dub. Racking them up. And then money going to be in the can for Big Dog, even in the round to follow this, honestly. So it's not looking too hot whatsoever. That one flash they were hoping would be a savior. It is not. Nothing close. Willie's got to run. And Ogura on an SMG, the only one here. He's going to be getting all the info and maybe all the damage. They're trying to stack, but they're stacking into their doom. Another just behind him. Whips it around. Can't quite get on top of it, but another means that they get an additional couple of bucks. But frankly, I think 3 is all that I was going to be hoping to get away with as far as them being able to get away with a buy next round that means much of anything. It's going to be okay.
I mean, they're going to have to make it mean everything. At least,
yeah.
Rue got a few extra dollars.
Plus, it'll add an extra 100 after the round is concluded. So it's like, okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're missing a little utility here and there. No op.
Yeah.
No head armor playing against an A1S on 4. No kit.
No kit.
No kit, no clue. CTs? QQ.
QQ.
Yeah, drop your guns.
I see.
Bomb can't be defused. Game over.
Slow down. snufaffu. Been a lot of speedier type of plays from them, whether they be A, B, or mid.
B.
I mean, there has been a lot of variety,
Mark,
but
we can be Bs. This is a good thing.
buzz, buzz. It's all 3 shaping up, or at least it was towards mid a moment ago. Actually, the bomb is going to move elsewhere for what can only assume to be in for an A split. But maybe just not the split. Do 1 smoke at mid door, and everybody is going to be outside of A. 1 dimension to this execute, and look at Big Dog. They've got a big hold up ahead of them. Wet Willie. Traditions is here. Cronoli the same.
Molly onto his spot. To blow up his whole place. A flash in front of their face, but Cronoli will also be on the receiving end of one of his own. Naded his toes. Now needing to be cleared. Rounding the bend. Not enough cover and not enough teammates to be able to play for him. Not at least actively.
Oh. Wet Willie yoinks one out, but surely could be the end of the day. No, it's here to stay. Wet Willie with a massive frag, but there is a flank, and Bones just walks around the smoke in order to ensure that they get nowhere at all with that retake. Beautifully played by Bones. And 12 for snufaffu's tuition farm. The chance for them to be in the grand finals, 4 of them up next.
Bones is getting rowdy. snufaffu team timeout because they're laughing too dang much, guys. No more fun. We have to win this game. No smiling, no laughing, no joking, no nothing.
Bunch of jokesters.
Bunch of little jokesters.
No joke here. Big Dog, cusp of elimination. A semifinals berth, but it could end for nothing.
Well,
time.
Could end for their opponent's grand finals berth. That's what it'll end for.
Well, nothing for them.
One window closes, another one opens.
Something like that, but with doors.
Doors. It's hard to get through every window. Anyway, Russian to B, hopefully not anticlimactic, maybe just as climactic as required. What has been pushing them along all this time, Vincent, the gunfights, the dueling, the wins that they take over each and every player on the side of Big Dog that they come into contact with. They've got their spawn, they've got their opponent's spawn. What don't they have? A man disadvantage.
They've got it all, is what you're saying. snufaffu's Tuition Farm, 3 kills away. This bomb planted. Only seconds standing between them and victory. This is such a late lurk from Wet Willie. Oh, it's going to be so long.
20.
For him to get back in. And both the Temple players going down. Wet Willie too far from this thing. He started in E-Box.
10.
And surely not. It won't be. It will be snufaffu's Tuition Farm making the way into a grand final here at Operation Cupid.
Some money guaranteed. A little bit of that tuition no matter the change, and we got ourselves a bit of a banger potentially slated. That last game in the other semifinal, may I remind you, a 2-0. A little bit more convincing from them perhaps, but this game more exciting, I would say, based on what I've witnessed. It wasn't any stops necessarily, but it was convincing Counter-Strike against at least a convincing win. So I think we got another one of those where I think in the quarterfinals I'd said we got the best of all worlds. I think we got that here again.
Yeah, no, I mean,
except leveled up maybe.
100%. Actually, I think you're definitely right with regard to that. And as this
Get out of the way.
This whole game shaped up, Nuke a storyline of maybe some of the individuals from Big Dog able to break through what snufaffu's Tuition Farm was bringing, but then Mirage, you get a return to what we expected, and that is the shooters shooting hard. snufaffu himself individually, he wasn't really required on Anubis, but a fantastic overall performance from Bones, Cameron, everybody was able to kind of jump up into that one. Like I said before, I feel like snufaffu got them there, and he was like, you guys take over.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers will speak for themselves across the entirety of the best of 3 in each map individually, but yeah, we can't discredit what snufaffu was able to do across the first 2. I think that's something that they wouldn't have even been here for if it wasn't for him. I don't even think they would have been here if it wasn't for the first map that they lose in that, right? Like, him having such an incredible showing on a map that they lose, it gives them at least a little bit of hope, right? It's the end of the tunnel that they can see the light at, and realizing it on the second map, and then taking it over the line once everybody's given the chance to warm up in the way that they need to. So definitely going to be a little bit closer, I think, by the finish line in the gap that's been created, but it's a final. It's a finish that needs to be brought through. Anarchy's Accounting Farm, snufaffu's Tuition... Sorry, wait, hold on. Anarchy's Accounting Firm against snufaffu's Tuition Farm. AAF, STF.
I'm not gonna lie, they might hate us personally as casters. That is a mouthful to say the very least. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Anarchy can bring. The fact that though we've made it to the towards the conclusion here at day 2, and we've got one of the favorites, arguably the favorite of the event, into the finals, Anarchy, who we got to see so much of on day 1, and they also making the finals. This is kind of a beautiful story. Like it's a great way to like conclude things at the minimum. By the way, we are waiting on an interview. We have not forgotten about that from snufaffu's Tuition Farm. We're just going to get him himself, snufaffu, onto the microphone. We can take a peek and have a conversation. snufaffu, welcome to the stream. First time we're getting to talk to you. And congrats on the semifinal, a grand final berth guaranteed. I guess free, easy question. I mean, how are you feeling? How you doing after what was a deep semi?
Pretty good. I got my bad game out of the way, so hopefully finals got 3 good maps.
Yeah. I mean, you get 2 bangers, then 1 not so great map, and then after that, it's just like, oh, you were due. I was due. You know what? That was the one. That's going to be a pretty good omen, I will say, as well. But going a little bit more in specific as to those performances that you were able to bring out, you start off on Nuke. You have a pretty stellar performance, I would say, individually, whilst the team was unfortunately not really able to pull up to the same spot on a map that was, albeit not your pick. What is the, I guess, pecking order as far as how Nuke fell into this veto for you guys and what your expectations were realistically? Is this a map that you guys feel exponentially more comfortable on than you think you showed, or do you think that was about an equal representation of what you know?
Well, I think, so we're a mixed team, so we're 2 groups of 2 with a solo, so our protocols aren't very good, but we're gonna like insta-ban Inferno because none of us are very comfortable on it, so I think Nuke is I think we'll do better on it this game because I'm pretty sure the team we're going to play will pick it. But I think that matchup will be a little bit better for us because we just weren't able to find our kills.
Yeah, it's also the first map too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like trying to be getting into the groove in a first map in general isn't always as simple against the team. So
I mean, I think that pretty nicely brings us to a conversation point that at least Tony and I had pretty consistently here, which was that, you know, you guys very, very clearly like wanted to just get into brawls, get into duels and force fights, feeling confident on those consistently. I mean, is that indeed y'all's mindset overall? You know, not map specific, but just, you know, we want to get into positions where we can play confidently and with our, you know, with our shooting.
Yeah, I think mechanically we should be diffing most of the people here. So that's kind of our goal, just to like shove all the fights that we get and win them.
who's slamming desks back there? Tell him to knock it off. No, but I'm joking. But yeah, I mean, I think mechanically speaking, that was kind of how we were also looking at this when we were looking at our teams. I mean, it wasn't easy to see who was playing for who with a lot on the registry. So I was under the impression, based on the fact of looking at your roster, it might have been the full MCS getting a reunion. Then I saw some other names I was familiar with on some other players. And then it came to today where we hadn't streamed you at all. And we got the full 5 as it actually was. And funny enough, it was actually pretty much the exact same story for the other team. They were 2, and another in the middle. So it looked like at the end of it all, I'd say that you guys had maybe a little bit more of the mixed team jitters when it came to the rounds that you guys were losing. But I think at the end of the day as well, it came to the rounds that you were winning a lot of the mixed team successes of being able to break through just based on your players alone. So going into the final, my last question that I will pose to you is that with all the knowledge that you've gained about one another, about, you know, your styles going into this one, do you think that there's any one thing that you find yourselves extraordinarily good at that you're going to continue to push forward without, like, you know, leaking everything? And do you think that there's one weakness that you've just really started to assess over time? Either of those questions you can answer. You don't have to do both.
I think mid-round comms apply to both of them because, like, since we're a mix, like, they're pretty panicked, which means they can either be really good or really bad. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah. So depending on how that goes, I think even if we don't play amazing, we should be okay. But we didn't play very amazing on Nuke and we lost. So
Yeah. Any teammates you're surprised with so far as well?
not really. I've played with all of them. This is our me and Agura's and Bones' third time here, and I came here with Cody and Bones last time, so I kind of know how they play. And I've been teammates with all of them except for Cameron.
Right.
So,
right.
So everyone's been playing how I want. Things are going good.
I guess follow up on that. The previous time you guys were here, or last time you guys were here, very successful outing. Not so much. What was the outcome?
I've been here twice. We won both times, so hopefully making that a third time.
There you go.
This time.
Easy.
The
easy
3P,
peasy.
baby.
That's what's on the docket, at least for you. I guess final question for me would be, you know, the opposition here, Anarchy. You know, what's your familiarity, if at all, with this team or the players on it, and, you know, anything that maybe concerns you or that you're looking out for into that matchup particularly?
Yeah, we played them in groups yesterday and we won, so we're not too worried. Just hoping we can keep it up.
Play your game. That's all it can really be. That's a congratulations to you for the semis, but there is more tuition money to be farmed. We've got one more game on the docket for us for today. We're going to take a little bit of a break, but thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate you again, so thanks for that.
No problem. Thank you for casting.
Absolutely.
All right, and with that, yes, final set in motion. This one's going to be a banger. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to have a couple of minutes to get things settled, and then we'll jump right into those finals. So keep it locked over here for Operation Cupid's conclusion.